Abby, go with Daddy. He got your ice cream.
We're good. We're recording.
All right, and you have everyone muted?
I don't have everyone muted. Let me mute everybody, Andrea, and then you just have to unmute yourself.
Ooh. Yeah. I figured it out. What?
Good work.
All right, happy Monday night, everybody, or Tuesday night. Sorry, Tuesday. Sorry. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andrea Tangi, and I was blessed and honored to be paired up with Miss Daphne on our leader retreat back in March. So we've been in contact. She's kind of like my soul sister. We were born on the same day. She's just a little bit older than me, but that's okay. She looks young. Look at all that biocell. I'm just kidding. But what I loved about Daphne is that we clicked really well. We had a lot of the same thoughts. Like, she's a little spitfire, which I really, really adored, and it helped get me a little motivated. So I personally have been down in the dumps the last few months. I've had a lot of personal stuff going on, and what it has done for me is it's taken me completely out of the game. Like, I came into this business, I started rocking right away, continued the momentum, and then when things start falling and crashing down, so did my business. So I happened to reach out to Daphne, and let me give you a quick background for those who don't know her. She was 7 years in a previous company. She was high as she could be in her company. She came to Modere after she found the culture and loved everyone in it, and she rose to Elite 1, Platinum Elite 1 in 4 months. So she's got a ton of energy, and she's ready to go, and she's willing and always ready to help anyone in this company. So when I said, hey, do you mind meeting me for lunch and kind of going from there? And she was like, sure, let's meet for lunch. And then it was kind of drilling me. She was like, what do you want out of this company? What do you want out of yourself? Like, what do you want out of everything? And I'm like, I need you to help me, like, help change my mindset, because, you know, the speed of the team is the speed of the leader, and I don't feel like I'm leading my team because I'm not mentally there. So as we had this lunch that just spoiled into a crazy afternoon, I was like, you know what, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you. Do you mind sharing a little bit with my team? And she said, absolutely. Let's talk about the end of the month. Let's talk about recruiting. And, you know, my team can use it too. Everybody can use it. And I said, well, I would appreciate your time, 20, 30 minutes if you can, and let you take it away, Daphne. Thank you for your time. So everyone, this is Daphne Ellison, and she's going to give you her stuff, and then she'll open it up later for question and answers. So I will mute myself and take it away.
Awesome. No, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're muted or not, but like I definitely want interjection. Like there's just a handful of us on here right now, which is actually perfect. I always mute it because I'm like a squirrel, and it, like little background noises, I'm like, hey, and then I forget what I'm talking about. So that's why I mute it. I don't mute it because I don't want any input from you guys, because this certainly isn't just the Daphne show. But I am super excited to be on here tonight. When Andrea asked me, actually, we talked about this a while back, like doing this, and then, you know, life happens, things happen. We both kind of got taken away doing our own things. And, you know, with the commotion, I'll put it that way. That's probably the best way to put the commotion that's happened in the past couple of weeks. Yeah. It's time for all of us to buckle down, right? Because, you know, I was talking to a handful of people. I'm going to rewind here in a second because I'm getting ahead of myself. But I was talking to a group of people, and I was like, you guys, you know, for the people that I'm just going to say, this is your opportunity to be the face. This is your opportunity to be the face of your business. Okay. So let me rewind because I just got really ahead of myself. Yes. My name is Daphne. I'm an Elite 1 Platinum. Been with the company since December 19th. I had no idea what I was in for when I signed up for this company. I just knew that it was time for a change for me. So little background history, 7 years previous company, I was loyal as loyal goes, right? I was not recruitable. If you reached out to me, I would shut you down faster than anything in the whole world. And when this fell into my lap, I had spent the previous 8 months dealing with my husband's cancer diagnosis. I was not in a good place. Okay. Like, I took his cancer diagnosis to like, he's dying tomorrow. And I put myself right into like anxiety-ridden panic, and I didn't work my business for 7 or 8 months. So the beautiful thing of this industry is that we continue to get a paycheck even though we're not working 8 or 9 months. But at the end of those 8 or 9 months, our paycheck doesn't necessarily equal what it was 8 or 9 months prior, right? So it was at a point in my life where I needed to buckle down, and a Modere video landed in my lap. Okay. There are many, many things that intrigued me about this business, and I was like, it was like going through a divorce. To be very honest with you, I thought that I was divorcing a company. And as soon as all was said and done, and I was moving forward with this company and leaving that behind me, this has been the most exciting thing. But I feel like as I sometimes hesitate to admit it, but I am human. And there are still days when this business is hard. There are still days as an elite where you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do this. Okay. There are still days when you're frustrated. There are still days, even multiple days in a row, where you may or may not sign a customer or a social marketer, and that's frustrating. The difference between people that are moving forward and people that get stuck in their business is how they decide to react to that, right? So I feel like, a lot of people that I've talked to in the past couple of weeks, I was on a Zoom last evening and got interviewed, and a lot of people were asking, like, how are you coming out of your summer slump? Like, for me, I didn't let myself get into a summer slump, but I let the commotion get to me in the past couple of weeks. So there's just two different things, right? But a lot of people are dealing with the summer slump. And in traditional network marketing, summer's the slow. I mean, we're coached that summer's the slow time. Summer's the slow time. Everybody's busy. There's too many things going on. There's all these things that play into our summer. But that's all mindset, right? Like, summer's only slow if you decide it's going to be slow. Summer's only, you're not collecting customers because of your behavior, not because people don't want to get healthy in the summertime, right? So Andrea and I had a really good conversation yesterday about a ton of mindset stuff. And there are so many things that I do for mindset. And I can tell you, like, I know that on days that I wake up and I do the things that I know work for me for my mindset, that I crush the day. And then I also know the days that I'm like, oh, like today was one, for instance, who in their right mind has children that are all teenagers, signs up to babysit a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old for a whole day? Me? That was crazy. I was like, I need a nap. That was the craziest day ever. So I was running late this morning, get kids to school. I had to go babysit these kids, and I didn't do any personal development before I left. Listen, I can feel it, right? So mindset, you have to wake up and make it a priority first thing in the morning. Okay. So if you're sitting back right now and you're like, man, I really want Modere, but I can't sign a customer, or really want Modere, but everybody tells me they can't afford to sign up right now. They want to do it. They tell me they want to do it, but they can't afford it right now. Or everybody tells me that, our prices are too much, or everybody says that they're just too busy. I mean, there's 1,000,010 excuses, guys, but it really comes down to priorities. I'm going to tell you right now, and this came from my old business. I didn't even say this to Andrea the other day. We were talking about when people say to us, I want to do it, but kids just went back to school. Sports are starting. I just don't have the money right now. I want to do it, but I can't afford it right now. It's all about priorities, right? If you showed up to their house today with front row tickets to their very favorite concert and you said, I have these tickets for $199, it's tonight, they would figure out how to make the money come together in 2 hours to be at that concert. Okay. So it's all about, a lot of it boils down to mindset, and I'm kind of going all over the place with how I talk about mindset, but I want to tell you, when we get your mind in the right place, things will come together. So first, I want to talk about personal development. If you're not reading something right now, and everybody's like, I don't read books. Well, everybody can read 5 pages a day. Everybody can read 10 pages a day. I'm not asking you to sit down and read for 6 hours or even 1 hour. It's a matter of saying, I'm going to read 10 pages a day. And I encourage Andrea to, like right now, when somebody new comes in and they start coming at me with like those pushback or the responses they're getting that are more like excuses, I always encourage them to read Get Over Your Damn Self. If you haven't read that book, I think you should. It's definitely something I encourage every new social marketer to read, because it's really, really perfect for out of the gates, for mindset, for getting over yourself, and for network marketing. Like, it plays into all the pieces. So, but that book, you need to read it. And if you read it in pieces, it's okay. That's the beautiful thing with personal development books. You don't have to read them cover to cover to understand the whole thing. You can read them in pieces. I read like 6 at a time sometimes, because whatever I have a feeling for that day is what I read, and I don't always finish a book cover to cover. So reading is really important, but there's a lot of people, like I said, that don't like to read books. So get out your pen and pencil. You need to write this down, because everybody can listen and everybody takes showers, I hope. So if you need to download the app Spotify, if you don't have it, most people will already have it on their telephones. Spotify is what it's called. And then I want you to download, I don't know if it's a station on there. I don't think it's like Pandora. Like, I think this is actually like an artist, but you want to download, it's called Fearless Motivation. Now, for me, it kind of resembles like football coach on the sideline, like really drilling into your head that you're incredible. Okay. And this is what I listen to typically when I'm in the shower, unless it's 5 o'clock in the morning and people are sleeping. But I listen to it, and I literally, when I'm done getting ready from listening to that, like I'm like, I'm gonna rock the world today. Like it will literally put fire in your pants. Okay. So I encourage all of you to check that out. I get a lot of feedback. There are a handful of people that are like, whoa, Daphne, like this is intense. But it is so good, you guys. It is so much about the brain. So listening to that, if you're not listening to TED Talks, like if you feel like you personally have a lull in your business right now, it all boils down to you. And I don't want you to take that offensively. I want you to take that to heart and be like, okay, well, what do I need to do to make it happen? Because if you got up every day and you did all of the things with the right mindset, it would happen. Okay, I had after our Zoom last night, I had another 2-hour call. One girl was like, can I pick your brain about leadership? We were talking, and I was literally like asking her questions like, okay, so how do you feel about yourself? When you wake up in the morning, do you feel like you can accomplish something? What is your worth? And those are challenging questions to ask a person. Like I had her in tears, but I was somebody I knew I could do that with. And before we got off the phone, she had not signed a customer all month. Okay. Before we got off the phone, she signed a customer while we were on the Zoom last night. We were on for 2 hours. So like it is seriously all about what's in here. What are you telling yourself? If you say out loud, I can't sign a customer, you're not going to sign a customer. If you say out loud, I cannot recruit to save my life. If you say out loud, people can't afford this, that's what you're going to attract, right? Like attracts like. So if you're putting whatever vibe you're putting out there, that's what they're going to get. So, Andrea, I'm going to bring it back to we were talking yesterday about the people can't afford this right now. I don't get that. I don't have anybody really ever say that to me. And you want to know why? Because I sell only $4.99 kits. And that's because I get super excited. And when somebody asks me, how much does it cost to get started in your business? This is my response. You guys ready? I say, we have a multitude of kits. They range from $199 to $699. But you know what? Those 2 price points are my least favorite. There are 2 in between, and these are what they are. $249, it's a super great value. It's our M3 Plus trim. It's only $20 more to sign up with that one than it is to become a customer. So if you want to lose weight and make some money for $20 more, you have that opportunity. That's a pretty sweet value. Now, the $4.99, that's my favorite. You guys, you get M3, you get BioCell, you get trim, you get shampoo, conditioner, you get mouthwash, toothpaste, plus some of the extras from the other categories, and you're automatically qualified to start earning the fast track. Like it's like a no-brainer. Like, I'm so excited about it. People are like, what was that? I need that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the pushback. But when you're worried about their finances before they're even worried about their finances, and you say to them, it's $199. Done. They're not going to sign up. They're going to be like, crap, I don't want to spend $199. So it's all in the delivery. It's all in how you get excited about it. I'll tell you a little story. I know a lot of people, me included, that signed up for the $199 because they were scared and they regret it and wish they did the $4.99. But I know 0 people that regret buying the $4.99 kit. So again, if you get behind it, if you get confident, if you believe in what you have your hands on, and again, every single piece of that boils down to mindset. You just get your mind right? So I really feel like whatever you're telling yourself, and I use that one because that's really common. People come and say, I can't sign a customer. What is it? And my first question is, what is it about the customer program? What is it about selling the product? What product? Like what makes you nervous? And they're like, nothing makes me nervous. Well, there's something. If you're scared, it's maybe, again, worried about their finances before you're giving them the chance. You guys are making decisions for your customers and potential social marketers before you even know their circumstance. And who are we to judge, right? Again, if you said to them, if I came to you with BioCell, it's $150, or I came to you with, I live in the country, so I use country music a lot, but if I came to you with a front row Luke Bryan ticket for $150 and the ticket was tonight front row, I know that people will come up with money. I just get as excited about that BioCell as I do about that ticket when I talk to them about it, and they're like, whatever it is, I got to have it. Okay. So you're just pretty much putting it in their lap. Okay. So I want to make sure that you're investing in yourself. Like you don't want to sign up a social marketer on your team right now if you're not in the right place, because then whatever your habits right now, and I'm not saying don't go out and sign anybody up right now. I'm saying you can get yourself right tomorrow. All right. It does not take long. I was talking about this last night. I'm sorry, my allergies are going wonky today. I was talking about this last night on the Zoom I was interviewed in about personal momentum. Okay. It does not take long to put yourself into personal momentum. Okay. We talk a lot about Modera being a momentum, and they are, and they're headed that way, even into bigger and bigger, and the tidal wave is growing, right? But you can do the same thing for yourself. And that boils down to who you surround yourself with. I'm going to talk about that. And it boils down to what you're filling your brain with. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the 5 people you surround yourself with first. And I challenged everybody last night that had a piece of paper to do this. Like, write down the 5 people, not including your spouse or your family. I'm going to talk about your spouse, but not including your spouse or your family. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Write down what you guess their income to be. If you know it, write it down. But if you have to guess, take a stab. Like if they work at a gas station, you have an idea. If they work at Old Navy, you have an idea. You know what I mean? Like, just take a guess. And then write down 3 words that would describe each of those 5 people. Okay? So now you've got your 5 closest friends described. Now, if you added all of that together and divided it by 5 to get your average, that's what your life should look like right now. Is that what you want to settle for? Okay. So in my previous company, it directly aligned with where I was at in that business. Okay. So you need to make a really selective, you have to be very selective with the 5 people that you invest yourself into the most. I'm not saying go ditch everybody that you spend your time with, but if you are not outgrowing friends, then you are not growing in your business or as a person. I had to walk away from 2 of my very, very best friends. Actually, they walked themselves away from me when I made the switch to this company, but it was for the very best, right? There was a reason behind it. So that is a big part of growth, picking the people you surround yourself with. Now your spouse, I'll give you guys a tidbit. My husband, when I joined this company, was like, dumbest decision you ever made. I support it 0%. Okay. It didn't take long for me to change his tune. He is very, very supportive, but it was very hard for me to be around him when that was happening, right? So if your spouse or your significant other is not cheerleading you on, then you need to really have a serious conversation with them and be like, I need you to at least not negate what I'm doing. Okay. If you don't believe in it, if you don't support it, I need you to not voice that so much to me and just give me an opportunity to prove this to you. Okay. You have it in you to prove them wrong. I have a lot of people I want to prove wrong. He was one of them. Now I've done that, check, and on to the next, right? So you need to make sure that you are putting that out there. I believe in this. I believe in me, and I want to do this. Allow me to prove you wrong. Please don't talk negative. And spouse, significant, whoever is in your house. Okay. If it's your children, whatever it is. I don't count them in the 5 because you can't get away from them, right? They're stuck there. So that is really, really super important. And then what was the other thing I said? I talked about the 5 people and then what you're putting into yourself, right? Was that right? We kind of talked about that. If you're not listening to TED Talks, I feel like you need to be doing that. I also encourage you to find somebody not in your upline or downline that you relate to. So if you guys if you have not reached out and befriended a couple other Modera people, I encourage you to find somebody that's already at or is shooting for the same goal as you, right? Why not band together with people that have like interests, like mind, and want to do the same thing you do? So for me, Andrea and I automatically connected because we got to room together, and it was the weirdest, most awkward thing. Neither one of us was really talking. We started talking, and then weird things started popping up, and we finally second day deducted that our birthday is the very same day, and we have a ton of similarities. Okay, so we will always be banded together because of that weekend, and we will always be friends. But I have other people too that I connected with that weekend and other weekends that I constantly can bounce things off. They do not benefit from me financially. I benefit not from them financially, but I will always support them and they will always support me. You need to find those people. Okay, we're all headed in the right direction. I'm going to use the Jessie Lee situation just 1 second. All right. We all invested in her. We all have been really tied in with her. But when she left, and then it may not have affected you guys that much, but there were people that it did. And I feel like the reason that it did is because they didn't have enough feelers out there and other friends that they could be like, okay, I need to bounce this off you. I need to feel the feels with you while this is happening. And so they just kind of wallowed in their own, like, oh my God, I just lost the person that I looked up to most in this company. You need to find other people to look up to too. Is that fair?
Agreed. 100%. Now I want to kind of interject with you a little bit, and it is the 29th of the month, and a lot of time people look at the 29th and then the 31st and they stop their goals going, oh, there's only 2 or 3 days left, and I guess I'll just wait until September to start rolling, when in fact they should continue going, put their foot on the gas, because even if it doesn't articulate by the end of August 31st, they can roll that into September.
Yeah.
In some of my busiest months in this business were in the summer months or going into the fall. And I was just talking with Anna today, the very first time I hit platinum 2 was last September. And it was because I was putting all my eggs out there, planting them seeds. And then all of a sudden people were just starting like plucking and the flowers started growing. And next thing you know, boom. But so many people get bogged down by what the physical number that they don't personally see themselves, that in their mind, they shut down, they don't keep going. What do you say to that?
For real.
Obviously, it goes towards mindset, right?
Okay, so I always, and I told you this story yesterday. I'm glad that you asked this question. Okay, so I always use my 12-year-old is a long distance runner. She's been running since she was 9. She is like super, super diligent. Like tomorrow actually is her first race for the season, for cross country season. We talk about the course, we talk about the race, we talk about her pace, we talk about, what it's going to look like. We talk about like what she thinks her struggles are going to be. We talk about these things all of the time, but it directly aligns with what we do here. Okay. Because what happens is we have a pace too, right? Like if you, at the beginning of the month, and for me, like my goal is Elite 2 next, right? Because I'm Elite 1 now. My next goal is Elite 2. So I know the first of the month what I need to do each day in order to be on track for that. We know that's our pace, okay? So I talked to her about her pace. Well, there are things that happen in races where she maybe has too many hills or it's hot or whatever. There's always circumstances that, or not always, but there are sometimes circumstances that slow her down. But when that child sees the finish line, okay, any racer, but I like to use her because I like her a lot. When she sees the finish line, her pedal goes to the metal. The child, she sprints, okay? Any racer, we sprint to the finish, okay? So why is this race any different? So when it comes time to sprint to that finish, she can make up a ton of time, you guys. If she had a bad mile in the middle, she can make up a ton of time in that last quarter when she sees the finish line, right? So same for us. I have watched people almost double, and now we're, what do we have? Like 2 days, 2 tonight counts. So today's not over. So 3 days, including today, till the end of the month. But I have seen people in the last 5 days of a month double their volume. I had one girl go from platinum 1. She went platinum 1 on the 29th of last month and went platinum 2 on the 31st. That's 2,000 in CP. Okay. I had a girl on my team do that last month. So that was in July. So it's possible, right? It's all about what you think. It's all about what you're putting out there. It's all about how many people are you talking to. It's all about how many people are your friend requesting every day. Like, those are all the things that we should be doing every day that, like, when we're like, oh, I have a business not growing. And if I ask you 20 questions of all the things you should be doing, are you really doing them? So it is, no, go.
So with that being said, what do you think the ratio is? You message 100 people, you might get one person to buy, right? I think it's like a 10 to 1 ratio. What do you think it is?
I think you're probably right. I mean, depends on who you're talking to. Like for me, this month, I went back and I went into like my first leads from when I started back at the very beginning in December, and I was kind of going back through and like messaging them, and I constantly do that actually, and just to keep that conversation going, and I don't always talk about Modere, but like sometimes when I get my mind in the right place, my ratio raises really significantly, right? So sometimes when my mind is good, I can talk to 10 people and sign 1 or 2. Sometimes I have to talk to 50 people to sign 1. Okay? But it all directly relates to what you're doing for yourself. I mean, I feel like that is really where it's at. But you guys don't, the biggest part of this right now is don't drop the ball right now. What happens, and Andrea said it, if you guys really get invested right now, if you said tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to send out 10 messages. Okay, I know it's going to be late. I don't know what time zone you're all in, where most of us, I think, are Eastern. So it's going to be a little bit late when we get off of here. If you sat down and you sent out 10 messages or 20 messages before you go to bed, it's like the perfect time to do that. Also do a live video right now. This is the perfect time of night to do live videos and get the most views if you don't do that. But you, if you send out those messages right now and then committed tomorrow to doing the exact same thing in the morning and the exact same thing at night and then doing that again on the next day, now will you get the customers before the end of the month? Hopefully. If not, you know what's going to happen? All of a sudden, at the beginning of the month, you're going to have already put yourself into the business part of the personal momentum. All right? Because so maybe it took them, okay, so I like when months end on Friday. Friday's my favorite day of the week for multiple reasons, but Fridays, you know, payday, people are happy. People tend to place orders on Fridays, right? But this month we don't have that ability. I mean, if you backdate, whatever, but you could be planting those seeds today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then Friday they could pop. And so you could start the month with 1,000 CP on the first of the month by the seed you plant right now. Okay, how would that feel? I have a lot of people that are like, I didn't even hit bronze yet. I'm like, hello, it's the 29th of the month. You got work to do. But they could start, if they really got diligent, they could start the month with 1,000 CP if they just went to work right now. Okay, so you are in control of that. I always look at my team and I'm like, okay, you guys have 2 more days, 3 including today, to have complete control over what your paycheck looks like. Are you happy right now if you did nothing else with what your paycheck will look like on September 15th? If you're not, why would you stop? Right? Like, it's time to do something about it. It's time to reach out to those people. It's time to say, you know, I did a thing today, like, you know, if anybody places an order through this month, I'm going to donate an extra whatever. I'm donating to the Texas, to the relief. I'm going to donate extra for everybody that places orders, or I'm going to order an extra tube of toothpaste for every order that comes in, and I'm going to mail them down to Texas. You guys can do all these awesome things right now, so get to work. Like, don't just sit back. Don't play woe is me. Don't play poor pity me. Don't sit back and say, my business sucks right now, because if you say it sucks, it's going to keep on sucking. You have to just sit back and be like, you know what? Why did I start this business? Okay, I'll often ask people, like, why'd you start this business? And they'll be like, oh, well, I want to stay home with my baby. I'm going to have a baby. Or I want my husband to retire, or, you know, even smaller. Like, I just want to pay my car payment every month. Okay, do you not still want to pay your car payment every month? Or do you still not want to be home with your baby? Because usually when they're big enough reasons, those don't go away, right? So don't give up on the reason that I sound like craziness with my allergies right now. I'm really sorry. Don't give up on the reason that you got in here, because that reason is something that matters to you. And if it was just simply you got in this to make a couple $100, because that's why I got into my first company. Actually, I got into it because I'm a mom, and back then, 7 years ago, my kids were still relatively little, and I never spent money on myself. And I just wanted a couple $100 to spend money on myself, on shoes specifically, right? I love shoes. Well, that turned into much, much more. And obviously, as the paycheck grows, our dreams grow and our reasons grow, and, you know, things happen. But whatever it was, don't give up on that. Don't give up on that. If you just want a couple $100 for shoes, then you best be getting your shoes.
So a lot of some of the questions that came through for some of the people that couldn't join tonight, one of the questions was balance. Like, how do you balance the work, the personal life, having kids, staying at home, and finding that balance? You know, do you say to those people, you got to figure out a power hour, or what do you recommend to them when they're trying to balance an MLM, whether they're in the beginning stages of this company or they've been in it for a minute and they just are overwhelmed with the facts?
Well, I sometimes struggle with balance too. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I get super excited and I'll be like, at the dinner table. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's real life. We have to, like, do a reality check. Actually, I have a 12-year-old that is my reality check. She'll be like, put the phone down, you yell at me. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have to be really diligent about that. But honestly, you guys, this company, like, coming from a traditional network marketing company where there is no balance, like, really, there is no balance in other companies. It's very hard to find it. This company is made for you to work it solely from your cell phone, so you have control of that. I used to be a big believer in power hours. I'm not so much a believer in it now, because I feel like this business was made to fill in the cracks of your day. So, but there's a big but to that. If you need a power hour in order to be able to be productive, like some people need to say from 9 to 10, I'm working this business, then that's what you need to do. but you have to stick to it. Like, you have to shut off the TV. You have to not answer the other telephones. You need to work for an hour straight and then not do that again. But you also have to let your team know that, right? Because I'm pretty much accessible to my team most of the time. Like, I let them know at the beginning. I made the mistake of saying I'll answer you anytime as long as I'm not asleep. I do not take my phone to the bedroom. Okay, I was answering phone. I was like on the phone until like 2 a.m, and I'm not a nighttime person, and it was got craziness, right? So you have to set parameters for yourself, like your family. You have to just set those and stick to them. Okay, dinner time now, like when you go out to dinner, like we were a family. I had to recognize this. We were a family. All 5 of us were like this on our phones sitting in Olive Garden on my daughter's birthday. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I made everybody put their phones away. 3 teenagers love that. But you guys have to find those pieces. And it's going to be different for everybody. And I hate to say, I obviously have the benefit of not doing anything besides this. But for like the work part of it, if all you have is your lunch hour, then you have to work your lunch hour. If your kids, I have some girls on my team that are like, right now, and I get it. Believe me, I sat in parking lots waiting for kids out of practices for 2 hours last night. If it's kids sports time and all of your evening schedules get really, really crazy, I get it. Then you have to work your lunch hour, or you have to set a power hour, or you have to set 3 hours of your day, that you're going to answer every single message that comes through. This is something I personally like to do, and this will help you guys with mindset. Do not pick up your phone until you do something positive in the morning. Okay? Very hard. So I love to, I immediately get up now. I'm on my phone. Okay. But I don't care what it is that you do, but it needs to either be like a gratitude journal. Okay. I like the gratitude piece. And somebody challenged me last night at night. They're like, I like to do it at night. And I said, I like it. Where'd you get that, girl? So gratitude journal in the morning. And then the morning is very critical. Even if you do it at night, you need to do one in the morning, because you need to, at night, if I do it at night, I like to talk about one thing from the day that I was grateful for. But the morning one is just something that you're grateful for, whether it's your feet hitting the ground, whether it's the water that's coming from your faucet. I don't care what it is, but something that you're thankful for. People are like, I run out of things. No, you do not. Okay, I'm thankful for the consumer's bill because I have lights, right? So there's a million things. So the gratitude journal is like the easiest for people that can't get into that. Devotional, if you do that, read 2 pages of a self-development book, listen to 1 5-minute TED Talk. Like you can, and that's on your phone, I know, but don't open any of the apps because they're filled with negativity. No matter how much you've worked to make your algorithms bring you all the positivity, you're going to find something neggy. So do something positive right out of the gates that puts you in a, today's going to be all right. Today's going to be great. Today I'm going to crush it. And if I know, I made a statement yesterday to my upline in a personal conversation that, man, I'm a recruiter and I recruit and I'm a recruiter and I can sign people up and I rock at it. Well, I kind of got out of the zone in the past 2 months. I'm signing back. I was signing 12 to 16 people a month, and now I'm 2 to 4. And I was like, I got to get back in the zone. Well, I know what I need to do. I need to find all the TED Talks, all the things that are about building a team, all those things, and I need to listen to them. Every time I have some time, that's what I'm going to listen to. Every time I want to look at something, a book, I'm going to pick up the books that are about how to be a strong leader. I'm going to read Leaders Eat Last. I'm going to do all the things that bring those things into my life. And I do a lot of them at the same time, little tidbits. Okay, I just went all over the place in your question, Andrea. But morning routine should be very, very small. Okay, and then you're welcome to get your phone. Okay, then you can get to work. But you got to put that positive. That will start your daily positive personal momentum every single day. Okay, don't even try to let anything negative slip out of your mouth before you do something positive.
I like it. And I ordered that book yesterday when we were sitting there. It comes tomorrow.
The Damn Self one?
Yeah, the Get Out of Your, what was it?
Oh, yeah. So I told Andrea, I challenged her, I know, this business makes it really hard for a team to, really grow together. I feel because there's a lot of distance, right? These Zooms help because you see faces and you get to smile and laugh at people and they get to do silly things and you meet my family or my dogs or my cats that walk on the couch or whatever. But I feel something that you guys might do is this Get Over Your Damn Self book is a great starter book, but geeky as it may sound, like a book club. Like you guys together as a team read Get Over Your Damn Self or whatever book you choose. I think that's a great starter. But you only read like 5-10 pages, and then you have like a thread that's posted like for the week we read page 1 through 20. I don't care if you read it all in one day, if you read 2 pages a day, 3 pages a day, whatever, to get to this 1 through 20. And on Friday you post, all right, aha moments from these 20 pages. And then you guys share. Like I feel like you guys collectively, that's going to do a multitude of things. It's going to identify leaders in this team. And then leaders can start being the ones to post them. Like it should not be the Andrea show either, or the Anna show, or the Adriana show. Like you guys have a collection of great leaders on this team, and it's time to use them all, right? Like you guys should all be super active. The more active you get on the page, the more you're going to feel part of something, the more you're going to get momentum, the more you're going to be tied in, the more you're going to be connected, the more your business is going to grow, because it all falls in line. Like attracts like.
What do you think about people, like how people, they're growing their business on social media, right? And they only maybe have like 200, 300, or 400 friends.
Well, it's time to get friend requesting.
Without being spammy.
Okay, so here's my way of friend requesting. Okay, so obviously I've been around for a while, so some of it I do like off of old groups that I was in or whatever. And you probably, how many unique groups have y'all been added to in the past 2 months?
A ton.
Go in there and start friend requesting them. They're going to kick you out really fast, and that'll be one way not to get added to them again. I'm not lying to you. Like my first tip for friend requesting is I go find somebody in my friends list that I know is probably never going to have anything to do with what I do. Okay. And I go into their friends and I go find, this sounds really bad. Don't take this the wrong way, but I kind of like shop around. Like I look for somebody that's positive. I look for somebody that has got great things to say. Like you want to open up their profile and you want to look at what they have to say. If they're dropping F-bombs all over their Facebook, I don't want them on my team, and I certainly don't want them in my news feed, right? So I look and I find somebody that's super positive, and I'll friend request them. You have a mutual friend, so people don't. Facebook's a funny thing. Like people don't find these things weird. Like if you think it's weird to friend request people that you don't know, you're creating it all in your head, and that's again a mindset thing. Because how many people I have thousands of people on my Facebook I've never met a day in my life, and multitudes of them are joining my team. Right? So it's just about finding the right people. So I friend request them, and then I may or may not go into their friends and add 1 or 2. And then the last person I add, I go into their friends and I add 1 or 2. And what happens is I've removed myself so far from my circle that I've got people in all different areas of the world in my friends list now. And out of 10 people, like I might friend request 10 people in the morning, and some nights I might friend request a handful more. I get 3, 4, 5 people that accept it every single day.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? They delete you, or
so like 2 times. I've been doing this for so long. 2 times I've had somebody be like, "Why did you friend request me? How do I know you?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you look familiar." Like you don't have to. Or not, don't answer them. And what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to delete your friend request and move on, right? Like, it's not illegal. So I feel like that. Now, another way that you can do it is find things that interest you, okay? And you guys, well, actually, I have a couple more things. So if you like horses, go find all the Facebook groups about horses and join some. And then start interacting in those pages. People are going to start friend requesting you if you add value, right? So if you're in there and you're like, oh, this is what I do at my house. This is what I got, da, 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 da. P.S. I had some girl do this in horses, and now she's got all the equine customers. That's 500 volume. Just throwing that out there. But I'm not into horses. I won't join a horse group because if somebody said a horse part, and I would be like, I don't know what that is, right? So join things that you are legit interested in. And another way that you can do it is so we obviously talk a lot about personal development. Go to people's fan pages like Grant Cardone, Eric Worre, Ray Higdon, like people that you follow, people that you really, Tony Robbins, people that, inspire you. And there's lots of them, like Shailene Johnson, doing things like that, people that really motivate you. And then look at the people that are in there that like the same thing as you. Okay, you can just friend request them, or you can, you know, start interacting on that page too. I don't encourage you to start interacting on that page, to be honest, but those are great people to friend request because they already have a like interest in mind. They may or may not already be involved in a business, but they definitely have an entrepreneur spirit. So you're going to get some of the people the kind of people that you want on your Facebook. I also, oh yeah, Melissa said she blamed her child a couple times. I've done that. I'm like, oh, my 12-year-old loves to go on and just add people for friend requests. Like, it's not that big a deal, right? Like, I don't get that people asking me, who are you, very frequently. But I also know that when my wall is completely public, everything is. I don't post anything negative on my wall. I post nothing controversial. So if they look at the friend request and they'll be like, who is this girl? And they go to my wall, they're probably going to be like, she seems fun. She seems interesting, inspiring, motivating, whatever you want to say. And so I think that a lot of times I get it accepted because of what I portray on the Facebook. So make sure yours does that too. I always tell my team, read your post out loud before you hit the post button. Because even if you are like, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to get somebody, or, you know, like if it just is like that snide underline, if you read it and there's any way somebody can take that and be like, oh, she did not, you need to not post it.
Right. No matter if you're having a bad day or what, Facebook
For real.
is
Yes.
a friend.
Yes. New. So I don't know if I answered that question. Again, I'm like a squirrel. I will be all over the place.
I think you did. I don't know, should we answer, like, open it up for Q&A? Do you guys have questions at all? Did we cover a lot?
You guys, I do have one thing to say. You guys need to think about this right now. In my previous company, we talked a ton about paying cash for Christmas. And I like to talk about, okay, dependent upon who I'm talking about with the fast track bonus, like if I'm talking to a brand new network marketer, somebody that's never been in this business before, I do not say, oh my gosh, we have this bonus program and it'll make you $11,000, because they're like, yeah, right. Like, that's not possible. That's way overwhelming. And that's just not, like, I could never do that. But I do bring it back down and say, listen, we have this bonus system. And if you reach the levels that you need to in the first month, this is how much bonus you could make. Because they can hit the first bonus, the first level. And then when they get there, I'm like, okay, we have a second level. Or now in the beginning, I'll tell them, hey, we have first, second, third, levels, and you can earn some really awesome bonuses. Right now, we are 3 months away from December. So you guys could change somebody's Christmas. So when you're talking to potential social marketers, you can say, hey, you know what, I feel like I really need to tell you, we do have a really cool bonus program for new people, and it's a 3-month program, and right now we could totally change your Christmas. You don't have to throw out a dollar amount. Please don't overwhelm somebody that's never done this business before with $11,000, because they're going to be like, what? Now, if somebody's been in the industry for even 1 year and you say $11,000, you better be telling them they can make $11,000, because I did it. I got the whole $11,000 in my first 3 months, and so I know that it's doable. But you got to kind of like gauge who you're talking to, and by who, if they've been in the industry and know the ropes a little bit.
Which also goes into play of saying, if you don't know how to reel them in, throw them into a 3-way chat with someone who does.
For real.
And how many?
No, go ahead.
And how many 3-way chats do you do with someone, should you be doing if you're trying to reel them in, right? Because they don't just want to hear you. They might want to hear someone else's point of view too. And also to do 3-way chats with someone who is relative to them. Like, a single mom. Talk to a single mom that's in the business. A guy. Relate them to a guy like John Melton or someone in the business.
I'll tell you, I know that I probably don't need 3-way chats, but I still use them. You want to know why? Because I could talk to them blue in the face, and then I can bring my upline in and she can say the exact same thing and they relate to her. Okay. It sometimes just takes the extra voice. That's one reason. Second reason is I came from a company where I didn't have very great support. So when I can show them automatically, like, yeah, I would love to introduce you to my upline. She might be able to answer more questions that I might not have been able to answer for you. It shows them that we have support, that they don't have to know everything, that they can come in and start signing social marketers because they have you to help answer the questions, right? So if you're using your upline or sideline or the people that are out there that you build these relationships with that I encouraged you to way back at the beginning, remember? If you use them in 3-way chats, I have people all over the board that I do 3-way chats with both ways, for me and for them, that benefit nothing from me financially, and likewise. All right. It's just, we are good together in a 3-way chat. But the other thing is that if you sign a new social marketer and you encourage them to use you in 3-way chats, all they're going to do is they're going to learn really quickly how to talk to people. Okay. If you're using, I'm going to use Andrea as this. If you put Andrea in a 3-way chat and she's helping you seal the deal with somebody, very quickly, you're going to learn how to seal the deal because you're going to see what words she's using that are working. I have a girl on my team that does not need me. She uses me, and I probably do 10 3-way chats a day for her. She does not need me. But it's really good for the ego because she'll put me in a 3-way chat and be like, oh my girl, this is Daphne. She is my upline. She is amazing. She is blah, blah, blah. So it's a great way for you to edify your upline. She does not need me, but the person on the other end is like, I'm talking to somebody huge. Like I'm talking to somebody that must be important because of the way Tina introduces me.
And it's important to edify. So it's important to edify so they get to know how you talk about someone, 1, 2, who you're talking about, and then 3, like what they get to look up to too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're already helping build relationships. This company, you guys, I don't know. If you've never been in another company before, you don't understand how special this one is. Because I've experienced a lot of the negatives. I didn't realize there were negatives at the time. And there is really an incredible support system here. People are truer than true here for the most part. And I would say that the whole way that this company encourages sideline and team relationships is just insanely incredible. So go out there and make these friends because you are only going to grow with the more people that you know. Like walking into Kansas City, you should be like, hey, to all these people that you have never met in person, but you've made these relationships. And Zooms help with that. Because now you're going to recognize me in Kansas City. You're going to be like, Daphne! You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have recognized me from just looking. You might have, but from looking at Facebook, right? Like, now you know me and you kind of see my mannerisms and you're going to be like, I know that girl. And likewise.
Yeah, it's super important. Anna and I both came from a company that we bled pink and black. Like, you weren't telling us any different. This was the best company ever. And it started to trickle down and we were both looking at each other like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we still with this company? And it, like, we were good. We were really good at what we did. Like, we were the top. And it just came to the point where it was one of those times where we did not want to go to work. We physically did not want to do parties anymore. We physically did not want to host our team meetings anymore. Like, it drained everything out of us. And it wasn't the people that we were meeting every day. It wasn't our customers. It wasn't our team members. It was the company in a whole that was dragging us out to be what we didn't want to be anymore.
Yeah. It's very easy. Culture plays a huge part. But I feel like we're in such an not the word I'm looking for, a unique situation that, like, I joined my previous company in this same type of scenario. Okay. Like, the company was really, really new. I was there for a really long time and we were in that momentum, but I was really green. Like, I didn't know all that I know now. And people were not as genuine and as kind as they are here. Like, I didn't make as many friends as quickly there. And like, I know so coming into this company, being in its early phases, you guys have no idea, unless you've been there, like, what you have your hands on. Like, do not let this go. Like, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, like, everything will be different for you. If you buckle down, hold on, and do everything that you know that you're supposed to be doing, you will be financially set. You will have an amazing team. Things will go good because this company is really putting us in. They have aligned with so many good values and they're doing all the right things to make sure that we all benefit hugely. Okay. So it's all in our seat what we do with that. So, you know, it's super unique. And I know that there are moments when it's frustrating, but do not give up. That's super cliche. Like, don't give up. Don't give up. Like, seriously, do not give up. You have your hands on something great.
It's good because some people get into the mind frame of like, oh, I'm not here. And it might be your personal goal that you're not at just yet. But just because you're not there yet doesn't mean that you're not going to attain it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. You might have a hurdle. You might have something that you're stepping into or not around. But if you're in the right mindset of it all, eventually you're going to achieve your goals and then some. And that's where I try to where I struggle with some people, because I'm like, just don't give up. Just keep pushing. Just keep doing the work. When you do the work, it's going to pay. It's going to have this massive reward. And when it does, there's so much more that Modera is giving us right now that we don't even realize. We don't even have our hands on half of it because there's so much more coming.
So I know I've had you guys on here for a really long time, but I just thought of something that I usually say on these Zooms, and I want to talk to you a little bit about goal setting. Because I know that every one of you is fiercely underestimating yourself. Fiercely. Okay? If you're, typically I did a live video in the Empire back a while ago. If you caught that, I did this little task with everybody, and I was like, okay, grab a piece of paper, write down what your goal on the promoter side is for this month. Everybody did it. I was like, okay, scratch it out, because now your goal is the next one. And I know there's only 2 days left in the month, but I feel like that still is relatable, okay? Because if your goal was gold and you weren't quite there yet, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to be happy with silver, you're never going to go past silver. But if you keep it at gold or you raise it to platinum, you're going to work your little booty off, and you may or may not hit that bigger goal, but you're going to be well past the under goal, okay? So push yourself. I'm going to tell you just a really quick story, and I know there's a couple of people on here from my team that have heard it. When I came here, $10,000 a month was my goal the entire time I was with my previous company. I had it all over my mirror. I had sticky notes all over, like all the things that they teach us to do. I did it, right? Like it was in my face all the time, $10,000. I never hit it, you guys. 7 years, I never hit it. I got relatively close, but not woo, almost there. So when I came here, I was like, what position lines up with $10,000 a month? And I was told Elite 1. And I was like, all right, well, Elite 1 is my stretch goal. That's what I want to be by the end of 2017. And I made a dream board. And in the very center of the dream board, it said Elite. It didn't have a number. It said Elite. Well, what that does to your subconscious plays a huge role in what you do and how you react and how things happen and what's going. Like, you know how you can get in a car and go to, like, say I take my kids back and forth to school 10 times a day. I can get all the way to school and be like, man, I don't even remember turning at that road. Your subconscious gets you from A to B without you really having to think about the turns, right? That's your subconscious. Okay, so it also does a lot of other things, like with goal setting. So I had that Elite dream board. And things happened really quickly here, and I hit Elite 4th month in, right? So in March, we went Elite. My brain went, I did it. I did it. I literally took my foot off the pedal. My brain took my foot off the pedal. I didn't. And I was like, oh, I did it. Okay, so if I had set a stretch goal of Elite 3, which sounded really stinking crazy, it still sounds crazy, but if I set that goal right out of the gates, I never would have taken my foot off the pedal. Does that make sense? Okay, so you've got to set really huge, they call them BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. You need to set them. They need to be crazy. They need to feel like so far out of reach that it's just like unattainable, but it's going to drive you. But also make them things you want. Like, I want Elite 3. If Elite 3 is like just too overwhelming and you don't want that, then don't make that your goal. Make it something you really want that's going to keep you excited. So be audacious. Be audacious in everything you do. I feel like that audacious has been my word for 2017. So just do that. And on both sides, I talk about that because that's my personal. But if your goal is Platinum 2 or Platinum 1 or even whatever, be audacious with it. If you have already hit Platinum one time in your life, Platinum 2 should be your goal from here on out. No question asked. So push yourself. Push yourself. Push yourself. You guys are capable of massive, massive things in whatever you set. So I want you to set a goal right now in your head. Write it down on a piece of paper. Ink it, don't think it. Get it on a piece of paper. A big, huge goal. And I want you to work towards that for the rest of August. Okay? I know there's only this couple days left, but just work towards them. And that's going to set you into some momentum, and they will end up being your September goals. Fair?
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's something to celebrate. Oh, I can't wait to do a Zoom at the end of September and be like, okay, let me see your pieces of paper. How did we do? Because I want to know. I want to celebrate. So, like, there's just so much that you guys can do that you're not doing because we're dwelling on the fact that it's just been a slow time. Right? Mm-hmm. So
thank you so much. My phone's gonna die, but I appreciate.
I see your message. I see your
I
message.
appreciate your time so much. I didn't want you to think like I wasn't going to thank you.
You're
I
ditching
appreciate
me?
it
Yeah,
so
like,
much.
peace.
I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
I don't like this girl.
No, my phone's
I'm
always
super
dying.
happy to have been on tonight. I know that I've taken up a ton of you guys' time. You guys can, Andrea has direct access to me all the time, and everybody else is welcome to. You guys can contact me anytime you want. One thing I do is on Monday nights, every single Monday night at 9:00, I do an opportunity Zoom. And you guys are welcome to invite people. I think I gave Andrea the information yesterday.
Yeah, I got it written down.
I do at 9:00. It's usually 20 minutes. I go over really quickly, just like the types of products we have, the categories. And then I also talk about, and then I say our best product. I go over our top product, and that's our business opportunity. So you can invite your possible customers and your possible social marketers. And it's usually me. Sometimes, I mean, there's been like 1 or 2 times where I've had to have somebody fill in for me from traveling or whatever, but I do it, and we've had a really great success rate with the people that get on there. So if you want to check it out, like if you want to get on and listen to it once and see if it's something you want to use, but we do that every Monday and it's available. And your customers can see my face and they can ask questions. And I definitely do a good job of every couple minutes I'll be like, you know what, this is what's going on. If you don't know this, make sure you get back with whoever invited you on. So I definitely make sure I push them back to you. So there's nothing unethical or there's no poaching, I promise. But it's definitely something where I just feel like it's needed in this business. I don't think there's enough of it. We don't talk, like people need to learn. It's a great place to send your new social marketers to learn how to talk about the business. Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I will post that. I love it. Well, we don't want to keep everybody all night. This went a little longer than we anticipated. If anybody has any questions, let Daphne know now or put it in the chat.
I will upload this recording. It's an hour long, so it'll take a little bit to upload to my computer, but I'll get it uploaded, and then I'm going to post it on my team page too, because I did invite my team on here tonight. There's a handful of them on right now. And then obviously get it to you, Andrea, so that you can share it with your team, and if you guys need anything.
Awesome.
I'm here.
Appreciate you greatly, Daphne. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Joining tonight. We know it was a little longer than usual, but let's rock out the end of this month.
Smooches. Bye, guys.